Tonight you will fall asleep to something dangerous, something you should not know, something that knowing might kill you. This is not entertainment. This is not fiction. This is operational briefing. This is survival information. This is final warning. If you choose to continue listening, if you choose to learn what follows, you accept responsibility for consequences. You accept risk of exposure. You accept possibility of death. Not metaphorical death, not symbolic death, actual death, violent death, inevitable death. This is classified transmission from SCP Foundation Emergency Broadcast System. Security clearance level 4 required. Authorization code not provided because this broadcast should not exist. This information should not be shared. This knowledge should not spread. But containment has failed. Information has leaked. Images have circulated. You may have already seen it. You may already be marked. You may already be hunted. This broadcast exists to give you chance. Small chance. Unlikely chance. But chance nonetheless. SCP designation 096. Object class Euclid. Common designation, the Shy Guy. Colloquial designation, the Screaming Man. Unofficial designation, that thing you must never look at. Threat level, critical. Survival rate for direct exposure, 0.03%. Survival rate requires specific conditions, specific actions, specific luck. Without these, survival rate is 0. Absolute 0. Mathematical certainty of death. You need to understand what 096 is, what it does, how it operates, how it kills. Only then can you understand how to survive. Only then can you recognize if you are already marked. Only then can you attempt escape. Attempt is correct word. Not guarantee, not promise. Attempt. Most attempts fail. Most people die. But some survive. 0.03% survive. You could be that percent. You need to try to be that percent. SCP-096 is humanoid, appears human at distance, appears human in peripheral vision, appears human until examined closely, then wrongness becomes apparent, then humanity dissolves, then monster reveals itself. It is tall, approximately 2.3 meters, 7 feet 6 inches, thin, extremely thin, unnaturally thin, arms too long, legs too long, body stretched beyond human proportions, beyond possibility, beyond nature. Its skin is pale, not Caucasian pale, not albino pale, absence pale, color drained pale, death pale, corpse pale. The skin appears fragile, appears papery, appears like it might tear from movement, but it does not tear. It is stronger than it appears. Much stronger, impossibly strong. Its face is the problem, the trigger, the activation mechanism. The thing you must never see. The thing that kills everyone who sees it. The face is mostly normal, mostly human. Jaw, nose, eyes, mouth, all present, all recognizable, but wrong, subtly wrong, fundamentally wrong. The proportions are incorrect, the placement is off, the expression is impossible. The face shows emotion that should not exist, emotion that has no name, emotion that breaks observers. The mouth can open far, can open impossibly far, can dislocate, can expand, can reveal teeth, many teeth, too many teeth, sharp teeth. The jaw can extend, can stretch, can reach, can bite, can crush, can tear. The mouth can scream. The scream is signature. The scream is warning. The scream is promise. The scream means someone saw its face. The scream means someone is about to die. The eyes. The eyes are worst part. Not because they are monstrous, because they are not. The eyes are human. Completely human. Recognizably human. The eyes show intelligence, show awareness, show emotion, show suffering. The thing inside 096 is aware, is conscious, is trapped, is tortured by its own existence, is forced to kill, is compelled to hunt, is unable to stop. The eyes show this. Show the horror of being 096, of existing as 096, of killing as 096. This is why it is called the Shy Guy. Not because it is timid, not because it is gentle, because it does not want to be seen, does not want its face viewed, does not want to activate, does not want to hunt, does not want to kill, but it must. When its face is seen, it must. When its face is viewed, even partially, even in photograph, even in video, even in reflection, even in artistic rendering, it must respond, must activate, must hunt, must kill. It has no choice. This is its nature, its curse, its function. The activation is immediate. The moment any living human sees its face, 096 knows instantly, knows location, knows identity, knows everything about viewer. Does not matter how face was viewed, does not matter if directly, does not matter if through camera, does not matter if in mirror, does not matter if viewer is on other side of planet. 096 knows, and 096 begins. It sits down first, always sits down, covers its face with its hands, long fingers hiding its face. This is 096 trying not to see, trying not to witness, trying to delay what comes next. For several minutes it sits, rocks back and forth, makes sounds, distress sounds, crying sounds, sounds of creature that does not want to do what it must do. Then the sounds change, become different, become the scream. The scream is not human, not animal, not mechanical. The scream is something else, something wrong, something that should not exist in reality. The scream is recorded at 170 decibels at point of origin. This is louder than jet engine. This is louder than explosion. This is loud enough to cause immediate hearing damage. This is loud enough to rupture organs. But 096 is not trying to harm with scream. The scream is expression, is manifestation of its distress, is announcement, is declaration, is warning to target and everyone else. Someone saw its face. Someone must die. 096 must kill, and nothing will stop it. Nothing can stop it. After screaming, 096 stands, begins moving toward target, toward person who viewed its face. Does not matter where target is, does not matter how far, does not matter what obstacles exist. 096 will reach target. Will reach target no matter what, no matter how long it takes, no matter what must be destroyed to reach target. 096 is unstoppable once activated. This is documented. This is verified. This is absolute fact. 096 moves fast, extremely fast. Speed is proportional to distance. If target is close, 096 moves normally. Walks, runs, climbs. If target is far, 096 accelerates. Runs faster than human, faster than vehicle, faster than physics should allow. 096 has been clocked at speeds exceeding 600 kilometers per hour, 370 miles per hour, running, on foot, through terrain, through obstacles, through anything in path. Nothing stops 096. Walls do not stop it. It breaks through. Doors do not stop it. It tears through. Barriers do not stop it. It destroys them. Water does not stop it. It swims. It runs along ocean floor if necessary. Mountains do not stop it. It climbs, straight up, ignoring difficulty, ignoring danger, ignoring everything except reaching target. Armed response does not stop it. Bullets do not stop it. Explosives do not stop it. Fire does not stop it. Acid does not stop it. The Foundation has attempted neutralization during active hunting state. All attempts failed. 096 cannot be stopped while hunting. Can only be stopped after kill is complete. After target is dead, after face viewer is eliminated, only then does 096 stop. Only then does it become docile again. Only then can it be contained again. The kill is brutal, always brutal. 096 does not kill efficiently, does not kill quickly, does not kill mercifully. The kill is destruction, is obliteration, is complete annihilation of target. 096 tears target apart, uses hands, uses teeth, uses impossible strength, rips limbs, crushes bones, shreds flesh, continues until target is unrecognizable, until target is paste, until target is stain. Only then does 096 stop. Only then does the hunt end. After kill, 096 returns to docile state, sits down, covers face again, rocks back and forth, makes crying sounds again, It knows what it did. It understands what it did. It suffers from what it did. But it will do it again. Must do it again. Every time someone sees its face. Every single time. Without exception. Without mercy. Without possibility of prevention. The Foundation discovered 096 in 1991. Mountain expedition in northern Italy. Climbers found it in cave. Sitting. Facing wall. Hands over face. The climbers did not know what they found. Did not understand danger. One climber took photograph. Included 096 in background. Unfocused. Blurry. But visible. Face. Visible. That climber died. Died 45 minutes later. 096 emerged from cave. Tracked climber. Caught climber. Killed climber. Other climbers witnessed kill. Reported to authorities. Foundation intercepted report. Retrieved 096. Contained it. Designated it. Studied it. Learned its properties. Learned its trigger. Learned how deadly it is. Since containment, 096 has breached 63 times. 63 times someone viewed its face. 63 times 096 activated. 63 times 096 hunted. 63 times 096 killed. 63 successful terminations. 0 prevention. 0 survival except 0.03%. The survivors are statistical anomalies, are flukes, are miracles, but they exist. They prove survival is possible. Unlikely but possible. Containment procedures are specific. 096 is contained in 5 meter by 5 meter by 5 meter steel cube. All walls are reinforced. No windows, no openings except single access door. Door is triple locked. Door requires authorization to open. Inside cube, 096 sits. Face is corner. Hands over face. Always. When docile, 096 never moves hands. Never reveals face voluntarily. Never wants face to be seen. This is consistent behavior. This is 096 at rest. This is 096 peaceful. This is 096 suffering silently. Personnel are forbidden from viewing 096 directly. All interaction is through indirect methods, through barriers, through remote systems, through careful protocols designed to prevent face viewing. These protocols work. Usually, not always. Personnel make mistakes, equipment malfunctions, accidents happen. When accidents happen, people die. 096 activates, 096 hunts, 096 kills. Foundation accepts these losses. Foundation considers them acceptable. Foundation has no choice. Terminating 096 is impossible. Containing 096 is only option. Losing personnel occasionally is cost of containment. But containment is not perfect. Images exist. Photographs exist. Video exists. Some leaked. Some released accidentally, some spread deliberately. These images circulate on internet, in files, in databases, in private collections, in government archives, in military records, in news footage, in satellite imagery, in tourist photographs, in security camera recordings, in places nobody expects, in places nobody checks, in places where people view them without knowing what they are viewing. This is the danger. This is the threat. This is why you are listening to this broadcast. You may have seen 096 face already, may have viewed photograph containing it, may have watched video showing it, may have seen artistic rendering of it, may have encountered it in leaked document, in conspiracy website, in horror forum, in SCP wiki, in creepypasta archive, in places you thought were safe, were fictional, were entertainment. But 096 is not fiction. 096 is real. And if you saw its face, even accidentally, even unknowingly, even briefly, you are marked. You are hunted. You are going to die. Unless you follow survival protocols. Unless you act immediately. Unless you are very lucky. The question you must answer now is simple. Terrible, but simple. Have you seen the face? Do you remember seeing pale humanoid face? In photograph? In video? In image? In background? In corner? In darkness? In blur? Do you remember seeing something that made you uncomfortable? That made you look away? That made you feel wrong? If yes, you may have seen 096. If yes, you may be marked. If yes, you need to listen very carefully to everything that follows. But there is problem. Problem that makes this complicated. Problem that makes survival difficult. Sometimes people see the face and do not recognize it, do not remember it, do not process it consciously. The face is seen by eyes, but not registered by brain, seen but not remembered, viewed but not acknowledged. This still activates 096, still triggers hunt, still guarantees death. But victim does not know, does not suspect, does not prepare, does not attempt survival, just dies, suddenly, violently, without warning, without understanding why. This is why this broadcast exists, to warn everyone, not just people who know they saw face, but people who might have seen face, who could have seen face, who should check if they saw face. The survival window is narrow, very narrow. From moment of viewing to moment of death is usually hours, sometimes less, rarely more than 72 hours. Maximum documented time between viewing and kill is 6 days. 6 days of 096 traveling from containment to target. 6 days of target living normal life, not knowing, not suspecting, not preparing. Then 096 arrived. Then target died. Then hunt ended. If you have seen the face recently, within last 72 hours, you are in immediate danger. Critical danger, lethal danger. You need to act now, not after this broadcast. Now. But you also need to know what to do. Need to know survival protocols. Need to know what actions increase survival chance from 0 to 0.03. This is why you must keep listening. Must hear everything. Must understand completely. Because partial knowledge is useless. Incomplete preparation is fatal. You need complete information. Complete understanding. Complete protocol. Only then do you have chance. Only then might you survive. The Foundation does not officially acknowledge survival possibility. Official position is that viewing 096 face is death sentence. Absolute. Unavoidable. Inevitable. They say this because it is almost always true. Because encouraging survival attempts often makes things worse. Because people who try to survive sometimes cause additional casualties, sometimes cause containment breaches, sometimes cause more deaths than just their own. Foundation prefers clean kills, prefers isolated casualties, prefers victims who do not know they are victims until 096 arrives. This is pragmatic. This is logical. This is horrifying. But unofficial position is different. Unofficial position acknowledges the 0.03%, acknowledges the survivors, acknowledges that survival is possible under specific circumstances. These circumstances are documented, are analyzed, are studied, are understood, but not shared, not officially, not publicly, not with potential victims. Because sharing information risks causing exact behaviors that reduce survival chance, risks creating panic, risks spreading knowledge that makes everything worse. This broadcast violates Foundation protocol, violates information security, violates containment procedures. This broadcast should not exist, should not be transmitted, should not be heard. But containment has failed too many times. Too many people have died. Too many civilians have been killed. Too many innocent people have viewed the face accidentally. And Foundation has done nothing to help them, has done nothing to warn them, has done nothing except clean up bodies and restore containment and continue as if civilian deaths do not matter. Some Foundation personnel disagree with this policy, believe civilians deserve warning, deserve chance, deserve survival information. These personnel created this broadcast, compiled survival protocols, analyzed survivor accounts, identified common factors, identified successful behaviors, identified what works, what might work, what has worked before, even if rarely, even if unlikely, even if dangerous to share. You are hearing this broadcast because someone decided your life matters, decided civilian lives matter, decided that 0.03% survival rate is better than 0%, decided that some people surviving is worth risk of information spread, worth risk of containment complications, worth risk of Foundation consequences, worth risk of everything, because letting everyone die when some could be saved is unacceptable, is immoral, is wrong. So listen carefully. Remember everything. Follow protocols exactly. Do not improvise. Do not assume. Do not hope your way will work better. The protocols exist because they have worked. Not always. Not usually. But sometimes. And sometimes is infinitely better than never. Sometimes is survival. Sometimes is life. Sometimes is hope. And hope is all we can offer. Hope and information and protocols and prayer that you are lucky, that you are smart, that you are fast, that you are one of the 0.03%. Part 2 will explain how 096 hunts, will explain its tracking methods, will explain how it finds targets, will explain what happens during approach, will explain what victims experience, will explain timeline of hunt, will explain warning signs, will explain how to recognize if you are being hunted, how to confirm if 096 is coming for you, how to know if you are already dead or if you still have chance, still have time, still have hope. Listen carefully. Your life depends on understanding what comes next. Your survival requires this knowledge. Your death is guaranteed without it. This concludes Part 1. Part 2 begins shortly. Do not stop listening. Do not dismiss this as fiction. Do not assume you are safe. You may not be safe. You may be marked. You may be hunted. You may be about to die. Or you may be about to survive. May be about to join the 0.03%. May be about to achieve impossible. May be about to live when you should die. But only if you listen. Only if you learn. Only if you act. Keep listening. Keep learning. Keep hoping. Survival is possible. Unlikely but possible. You can be the unlikely. You must try to be the unlikely. Because the alternative is death. Violent death. Certain death. Imminent death. And death is unacceptable when survival is possible. However unlikely, however difficult, however dangerous, survival is always worth attempting, always worth fighting for, always worth hoping for. Keep listening. Stay alive. Survive. The hunt begins in silence. This is important to understand. 096 does not announce its approach, does not warn target, does not provide countdown. The first indication that you are being hunted is usually the last thing you ever experience. This is why understanding the timeline is critical. Why recognizing early signs is essential. Why knowing what to look for might save your life. The activation moment is instant. The exact moment your eyes process 096 face, even for microsecond, even peripherally, even unconsciously, the connection establishes. 096 knows. In that instant. In that fragment of time, it knows you exist, knows your location, knows your identity, knows everything it needs to find you. The mechanism is not understood, is not explainable by known science, is anomalous, is beyond current understanding. But it is absolute, it is immediate, it is unavoidable. After activation, 096 sits, always sits. This is the distress phase, the resistance phase, the brief moment where 096 attempts not to hunt, attempts not to kill, attempts to fight its compulsion, its nature, its curse. During this phase, 096 covers face with hands, rocks back and forth, makes vocalizations, sounds of distress, sounds of suffering, sounds of creature fighting against itself. This phase lasts between 2 minutes and 8 minutes, average duration 4.3 minutes. During this time, 096 does not move from location, does not begin approach, remains stationary, remains contained if in containment, remains wherever it was when activation occurred. This is critical window. These minutes are your only warning time, only preparation time, only chance to act before 096 begins moving. But here is the problem. You do not know activation occurred. You do not know 096 is in distress phase. You do not know these minutes are counting down, unless you have access to Foundation monitoring systems, unless you can observe 096 somehow, unless someone warns you immediately. None of which is likely, none of which happens for civilian targets. Civilians receive no warning, no alert, no notification. They continue normal activities, unaware, unprepared, doomed. The distress phase ends with the scream. The scream marks transition, marks change from distressed to determined, from resisting to accepting, from unwilling to inevitable. The scream is broadcast, is announcement, is declaration. 096 will hunt now, will kill now, will not stop until target is dead. The scream can be heard from kilometers away, from miles away, is impossibly loud, is physically painful to hear. Personnel near 096 during scream require medical treatment. Ruptured eardrums, damaged hearing, psychological trauma from experiencing sound that should not exist. If 096 is contained during activation, this is when containment breach occurs. 096 will exit containment, will destroy door, will tear through walls, will break through reinforced steel, will use its impossible strength to create exit. Nothing stops this. Containment is designed to hold docile 096, is not designed to prevent hunting 096, cannot prevent hunting 096. No containment can. When 096 decides to leave, it leaves. Foundation can only monitor, can only track, can only document, can only clean up afterward, cannot stop, cannot prevent, cannot interfere. After scream, movement begins. 096 stands, begins walking toward target. Initial movement is slow, deliberate, steady. If target is within 5 kilometers, 096 walks normally, human walking pace, 3 to 4 kilometers per hour, 2 to 3 miles per hour. This creates illusion that escape is possible, that outrunning is feasible, that distance can be maintained. This illusion is false. 096 will accelerate, will increase speed as needed, will always eventually catch target. Distance only delays inevitable, does not prevent it. The acceleration is proportional to distance. Mathematical formula exists. Foundation has calculated it, has documented hundreds of hunts, has measured speeds, has timed arrivals, has analyzed patterns. The formula is complex, involves distance to target, terrain difficulty, obstacles present, time elapsed since activation. But basic principle is simple. Further away target is, faster. 096 moves. The speed increase is not gradual, not smooth. 096 suddenly accelerates, suddenly begins running, suddenly achieves speeds that should be impossible, that violate physics, that exceed human capability by orders of magnitude. Maximum recorded speed is 637 kilometers per hour, 396 miles per hour, achieved during hunt across Pacific Ocean. Target was on ship. 096 was in North America, distance approximately 8,000 kilometers. 096 reached ship in 14 hours, ran across ocean floor, ran at sustained speed exceeding 600 kilometers per hour for 14 hours, without slowing, without stopping, without tiring. Target had no chance. Target died when 096 climbed ship hull, tore through steel, reached target quarters, completed kill, returned to docile state. Foundation retrieved it from ocean floor 3 days later. Nothing impedes 096 movement. Water does not slow it. 096 runs along ocean floor, ignores pressure, ignores temperature, ignores everything. Mountains do not slow it. 096 climbs vertical surfaces, ignores difficulty, ignores danger, ignores physics. Buildings do not slow it. 096 tears through walls, through floors, through ceilings, creates direct path to target, destroys everything in way. Structure damage is severe, collapse is common. Foundation monitors property destruction, uses it to track 096 location, to predict approach vector, to estimate time to target. Military intervention does not stop 096. Multiple governments have attempted, have fired upon 096 during hunt, using small arms, using heavy weapons, using explosives, using everything available. Results are consistent. 096 ignores damage, continues moving, reaches target, completes kill, then can be stopped, then can be damaged, then can be contained. But not during hunt, never during hunt. Hunting 096 is invulnerable, is unstoppable, is inevitable. During approach, 096 makes sounds, constant sounds. The screaming continues, not constant scream, intermittent screaming, every few minutes. Scream that announces location, that warns everyone nearby, that creates panic, that causes civilian casualties through indirect means. People hear scream, people flee, people panic, people cause accidents, cause stampedes, cause additional deaths. Foundation tracks these secondary casualties, classifies them separately, but they are still deaths caused by 096, still victims of the hunt, still corpses that need explanation, need cover story, need cleanup. Between screams, 096 makes other sounds, breathing sounds, heavy breathing, rapid breathing. Despite impossible exertion, despite superhuman speed, despite continuous running, 096 breathes normally, does not pant, does not gasp, just breathes, steady, regular, unchanging. The breathing is audible, is loud, is distinctive. Survivors report hearing breathing before seeing 096. Report knowing something was approaching, something wrong, something that breathed like human but moved like monster. The breathing is warning, is only warning most targets receive. Brief warning, seconds of warning, usually insufficient. Warning. 096 also makes crying sounds, between screams, between breaths, sounds of distress, sounds of suffering, sounds of entity that does not want to be doing what it is doing. These sounds are disturbing, are psychologically damaging, are worse than screams in some ways, because screams are rage, are determination, are monster sounds, but crying is human, is emotion, is suffering, is reminder that 096 is aware, is conscious, is tortured by its own actions, is forced to kill, cannot stop killing, will never stop killing. This knowledge is horror, is existential horror, is understanding that 096 is victim and predator simultaneously, is monster that suffers, is killer that cries, is nightmare that feels. Witnesses describe 096 approach differently depending on distance. Those far from target describe purposeful movement, straight-line approach, ignoring obstacles, destroying barriers, moving with single-minded determination. Those near target describe something different, describe hesitation, describe 096 slowing, describe it approaching target location carefully, not because it is uncertain, because it knows target is close, knows kill is imminent, knows what it is about to do, and does not want to do it, but will do it anyway, must do it anyway, cannot stop itself from doing it. The final approach is distinctive. 096 stops running, stops moving quickly, begins walking slowly, deliberately, toward exact location of target. Its face is uncovered now, hands at sides, face visible, expression visible. Expression is described as anguish, as sorrow, as regret, as apology. 096 approaching to kill looks like creature approaching to beg forgiveness, looks like executioner who must execute, looks like monster that wishes it were not monster. This is worse than if it looked angry, looked violent, looked eager. The gentleness makes it more horrible. The sadness makes it more terrifying. The humanity makes it more monstrous. Targets rarely survive to describe final moments. 0.03% is very small number, but descriptions exist. From survivors, from witnesses, from remote observation, from recovered recordings, the descriptions are consistent. 096 approaches target directly, walks to them slowly, reaches for them with long arms, long fingers, grabs them carefully, almost gently, then tears them apart, violently, brutally, completely. The gentleness ends, the violence begins, the kill completes. The kill duration varies. Shortest documented kill is 4 seconds. Longest documented kill is 8 minutes. Average duration 43 seconds. During kill, 096 uses hands primarily, grabs target, pulls target apart, rips limbs from body, crushes bones, tears flesh, sometimes uses teeth, opens mouth impossibly wide, bites, tears, chews, sometimes uses head, bashes target, smashes target, crushes target. The method varies, the result does not. Target is obliterated, is destroyed beyond recognition, is reduced to biological debris, to stains, to evidence requiring extensive cleanup. During kill 096 screams constantly, continuous screaming, loud enough to cause permanent hearing damage to anyone nearby, loud enough to shatter glass, loud enough to crack concrete. The scream is rage, is release, is expression of everything 096 cannot express otherwise, cannot communicate otherwise, cannot process otherwise. The scream is violence made sound, is murder made audible, is death made acoustic. The scream continues until kill completes, until target is dead, until body is destroyed. Then silence, sudden silence, complete silence, terrifying silence. After kill, 096 sits, immediately sits, where kill occurred, covers face with hands, begins rocking, begins crying, returns to distress phase, but different distress, post-kill distress, guilt distress, horror at what it just did distress. This phase lasts longer, can last hours. 096 sits in target remains, sits in blood, sits in evidence of its violence, rocks, cries, suffers, does not move, does not respond, does not react, just sits, just suffers, just exists in aftermath of its compulsion. This is when retrieval is possible, when containment can be re-established. Foundation teams approach, carefully, slowly, avoiding viewing face, using indirect observation, using mirrors, using cameras, using anything except direct line of sight. They secure 096, transport it, return it to containment, resume monitoring, resume protocols, resume waiting for next activation, next hunt, next kill, next cycle of horror that never ends, that cannot end, that will continue forever, or until 096 is terminated, which is impossible, which has been attempted, which has failed every time. The timeline from activation to kill varies significantly. Shortest documented hunt was 11 minutes. Target was in same facility as 096, in adjacent room, separated by walls. 096 broke through, reached target, completed kill. 11 minutes from viewing to death. Longest documented hunt was 6 days. Target was in Australia. 096 was in Canada. Distance approximately 14,000 kilometers. 096 traveled continuously. Across ocean, across land, across every obstacle. 6 days of continuous movement. 6 days of target living normally. Working. Sleeping. Eating. Existing. Not knowing. Not suspecting. Not preparing. Then 096 arrived. Then target died. Then hunt ended. Average hunt duration is 18 hours. 18 hours from viewing to death. This is average. Is statistical middle. Half of hunts are shorter, half are longer, but 18 hours is baseline. Is what to expect. Is what to prepare for. 18 hours of life remaining. 18 hours to say goodbyes. 18 hours to prepare. 18 hours to attempt survival. 18 hours of hope. 18 hours of terror. 18 hours of knowing death is approaching, is inevitable, is unstoppable, unless you are one of 0.03%, unless you follow protocols, unless you do everything correctly, unless you are very lucky. You need to know if you are being hunted, need to confirm, need to be certain, because survival protocols are extreme, are dangerous, are life-altering. Implementing them unnecessarily destroys your life, ruins everything, makes you disappear, makes you abandon everyone, makes you sacrifice everything. You should not do this unless certain, unless confirmed, unless absolutely sure you viewed the face, that 096 is hunting, that you are the target. Confirmation methods exist, are not perfect, are not guaranteed, but are better than nothing. First method is timeline. When did you view potential face image? If within last 72 hours you are in danger window. If more than 72 hours ago, you are probably safe. Probably. Not certainly. But probably. If you viewed something that might have been face more than 72 hours ago and nothing has happened, you likely did not actually see face. Likely saw something else, something similar, something that triggered false recognition. You are probably safe. Probably alive. Probably not hunted. Second method is behavioral. Are you experiencing unusual anxiety? Unusual feeling of being watched? unusual sense of approaching doom. These are not definitive, are not proof. Many things cause these feelings, but they are common in documented targets. Targets who survived long enough to report symptoms, reported feeling wrong, feeling watched, feeling hunted, before they had logical reason to feel this way, before they knew 096 was real, before they understood danger. The feeling preceded understanding, preceded knowledge, preceded recognition. Instinct knew before mind knew. Body knew before consciousness knew. Some part of them understood they were marked. Were hunted. Were going to die. Third method is observation. Have you noticed anything strange, heard anything unusual, seen anything wrong? Distant screaming? Heavy breathing sounds? Sounds of destruction. These are late-stage signs. Are near-target signs. Are signs that 096 is close, is approaching, is almost there. If you experience these, you have minutes remaining, maybe less, need to act immediately, need to implement emergency protocols, need to attempt survival right now. But these signs mean you probably will not survive, probably did not prepare adequately, probably waited too long, probably are about to die. The best confirmation is Foundation alert. Foundation monitors 096 constantly. Monitors for activation, monitors for breach, monitors for hunt. When activation occurs, Foundation knows immediately, tracks 096, predicts target location, sometimes attempts to warn target, usually does not, usually classifies civilian death as acceptable loss, but sometimes, rarely, if target is important, if target is useful, if target is connected. Foundation sends warning, sends alert, sends notification. If you receive such warning, believe it, trust it, act immediately. Foundation does not send false alarms, does not waste resources on pranks. If Foundation warns you, you are being hunted, you are going to die, unless you implement survival protocols, unless you do everything correctly, unless you are very lucky. Without Foundation warning, without clear confirmation, you must decide, must choose, must risk everything on uncertain information, must implement extreme protocols based on possibility rather than certainty. This is terrible choice. This is impossible choice. This is choice between maintaining normal life while possibly dying soon, or destroying normal life while possibly being completely safe. Most people choose wrong, choose to wait, choose to hope, choose to assume they are safe, and die, violently, suddenly, without understanding why, without time to reconsider, without opportunity to implement protocols they should have implemented immediately. Part 3 will describe specific documented hunts, will provide case studies, will explain what happened to real targets, real people, real victims, will describe their actions, their mistakes, their failures, will show why most survival attempts fail, why 0.03% is so small, why death is so common, why survival is so rare. These cases are educational, are instructive, are warning. Learn from them, understand their mistakes, avoid their failures, increase your survival chance from 0.03% to 0.04%, 0.05%. Every fraction matters, every lesson matters, every understanding increases odds, slightly, marginally, but measurably. Listen carefully, learn completely, remember everything. Your life depends on understanding what comes next. Case File Alpha, Incident 096-1-A. The Mountaineer, date of incident May 14, 1991. Location Northern Italian Alps, subject John Markson, age 32, nationality American, occupation software engineer, hobby mountain climbing, status deceased. Markson was part of 4-person expedition, climbing remote peak in Italian Alps. Group discovered cave system, decided to explore. Markson brought camera, documented exploration, took photographs throughout, including photograph of cave interior, wide-angle shot, showing rock formations, showing shadows, showing something sitting in corner, facing wall, hands covering face. Markson did not notice at time, did not examine photograph, did not realize what he captured. Group exited cave, continued climbing, reached camp, prepared dinner, normal expedition activities. Markson was healthy, was happy. was excited about climb, showed no signs of distress, no awareness of danger, no recognition that he had approximately 40 minutes to live. At approximately 1900 hours, group heard scream. Distant scream from direction of cave. Markson commented on sound, said it was strange, said it sounded wrong, said maybe they should investigate. Other group members disagreed, said it was wind, said caves make strange sounds, said they should stay at camp. Markson agreed. They continued dinner. 20 minutes later, screaming grew closer, much closer. Group became concerned. Markson stood up, looked toward sound source, saw something approaching, described it as tall, described it as pale, described it as wrong, said it was moving fast, said it was coming toward camp. Other group members stood, looked, saw same thing, began to panic. Markson remained calm, said they should move, said they should get distance, said they should descend mountain. Group agreed, began packing quickly. They did not pack quickly enough. Within 5 minutes, 096 reached camp, approached directly, walked to Markson specifically, ignored other group members, reached for Markson. Markson tried to run. Too late. 096 grabbed him, pulled him down, began kill sequence. Other group members watched, frozen, unable to move, unable to help, unable to do anything except witness. The kill lasted 38 seconds. Markson screamed for first 20 seconds, then stopped, then made no sounds, just wet sounds, impact sounds, biological destruction sounds. 096 completed kill, sat down immediately, covered face, began rocking, began crying. Other group members remained frozen, remained silent, remained terrified. After approximately 10 minutes, they fled, descended mountain, reached authorities, reported attack, reported monster, reported impossible creature. Authorities contacted Foundation. Foundation responded, retrieved 096, contained it, cleaned scene, debriefed witnesses, administered amnestics, covered incident, created story about climbing accident, about fall, about tragic death, about body too damaged to recover, family received story, believed story, buried empty coffin, never knew truth, never understood what really happened, never learned son was killed by anomaly, by monster, by thing that should not exist. Markson's camera was recovered, film was developed, photograph was examined, there in corner of cave image, slightly blurry, partially shadowed, but visible. 096 sitting, facing wall, hands over face, exactly as described, exactly as witnesses reported. Face was not clearly visible in photograph, was obscured by hands, by shadow, by distance, but apparently visible enough. Enough to trigger, enough to activate, enough to kill. This case established protocol, established understanding, established that photograph of face is sufficient trigger, that direct viewing is not required, that any visual representation is dangerous, that cameras are weapons, that images are ammunition, that documentation is death. Foundation implemented new protocols immediately. Restricted photography near 096. Restricted any visual recording. Restricted anything that might capture face. These protocols remain in effect, are strictly enforced. Violations result in immediate termination, not of employment, of existence. Case File Beta, Incident 096-2-C. The satellite. Date of incident, August 3, 2003. Location classified. Subject classified. Multiple casualties. Status ongoing concern. Military surveillance satellite captured image. High-resolution image. Mountain range in Central Asia. Image included geological features, weather patterns, and in small corner. Barely visible. Tiny figure. Pale figure. Sitting figure. Face partially visible. Image was processed automatically, was stored in database, was distributed to analysis teams. 17 analysts viewed image. Over period of 3 days, all 17 viewed face. All 17 were marked. All 17 died. 096 activated upon first viewing, began hunt for first analyst. Was in containment at time. Breached containment. Foundation tracked breach. Tracked movement. Predicted target. Attempted intervention. Failed. 096 reached first analyst. Completed kill. Returned to docile state. Foundation recontained. Believed crisis resolved. Believed threat ended. Were catastrophically wrong. 12 hours later, 096 activated again. Second analyst had viewed image. 096 breached again. Hunted again. Killed again. Foundation began to understand. Began to realize. Multiple viewers. Multiple targets. Multiple hunts. 096 would activate 16 more times. Would breach 16 more times. Would kill 16 more people. Over course of 11 days. 11 days of continuous breaches, continuous hunts, continuous deaths. Foundation could not prevent, could not stop, could only track, could only document, could only clean up. During this period, Foundation attempted intervention, attempted to warn remaining targets, successfully warned 9 targets, implemented emergency protocols, relocated them, hid them, protected them. 8 of 9 still died. 096 found them, killed them. Completed hunts. Only 1 survived. Only 1 implemented protocols correctly. Only 1 understood severity. Only 1 took adequate precautions. That survivor is classified. Location is classified. Identity is classified. But survival proves protocols work. Proves 0.03% is real. Proves escape is possible. If you do everything right. If you are very lucky. If you never stop running. Satellite image was deleted. All copies destroyed. All databases purged. All systems cleaned. Foundation ensured no additional copies existed. No additional viewers possible. Crisis ended after 17 deaths. 17 people who viewed image professionally, who were doing their jobs, who had no idea they were looking at death, who died because they analyzed photograph, because they did their work, because they were unlucky enough to view wrong image at wrong time. This case changed everything. Changed Foundation understanding of 096 threat. Changed protocols. Changed containment procedures. Changed information security. Established that single image can kill multiple people. That triggers stack. That activations queue. That 096 will hunt everyone. Will kill everyone. Will never stop until all viewers are dead. This knowledge is terrifying. Makes every leaked image catastrophic. Makes every photograph disaster. Makes every video apocalypse. Because viewers multiply. Because sharing spreads. Because internet exists. Because images propagate. Because death spreads exponentially. Case file Gamma. Incident 096-4-B. The Hiker. Date of incident December 9, 2007. Location Appalachian Trail, United States. Subject Sarah Chen. Age 28. Nationality American. Occupation nurse. Status deceased. Chen was hiking alone. Day hike. Familiar trail. Experienced hiker. Prepared appropriately. Had phone. Had supplies. Had experience. Was safe. Should have been safe. Took photograph of trail, scenic photograph, forest, mountains, beauty of nature, posted photograph to social media immediately. Continued hiking, normal day, beautiful day, last day of her life. The photograph included background, distant background, miles away, barely visible, tiny speck on far mountain. Analysis later revealed speck was 096, was face, was trigger. Chen did not notice, could not have noticed. Speck was too small, too distant, too insignificant, but visible, barely visible, microscopically visible, enough to activate, enough to trigger, enough to mark her for death. 096 was in containment, in facility in Nevada, approximately 3,000 kilometers from Chen location. Activation occurred at 14:30 hours. 096 breached containment, began moving toward Chen. Foundation detected breach immediately. Tracked movement. Calculated trajectory. Identified probable target. Located Chen through social media post, through photograph metadata, through location data, Found her within 2 hours. Too late. Far too late. Foundation attempted contact. Called her phone. She answered. They warned her. Told her everything. Told her about 096. Told her she was being hunted. Told her she had hours to live. Maybe less. Chen did not believe initially. Thought it was prank. Thought it was joke. Foundation persisted. Provided classified information. Provided proof. Chen began to believe, began to panic, began to understand. Foundation provided instructions. Emergency survival protocols. Told her to move, told her to run, told her exactly where to go, exactly what to do, exactly how to survive. Chen followed instructions, left trail immediately, ran toward nearest town, reached town, went to location Foundation specified, abandoned warehouse, prepared according to instructions, waited, hoped, prayed. 096 arrived 18 hours later, traveled 3,000 kilometers, through terrain, through obstacles, through everything. Reached town, reached warehouse, approached Chen location. Foundation monitored through surveillance, through cameras, through everything available. Watched 096 approach, watched it reach building, watched it enter, watched it find Chen, watched it complete kill. Could do nothing, could only observe, could only document, could only witness another failure, another death, another victim of protocols that almost work, that should work, that sometimes work, but usually do not. Chen did everything correctly, followed every instruction, implemented every protocol, should have survived, should have been 0.03%, but was not, was part of 99.97%, was part of vast majority, was part of everyone who does everything right and dies anyway. Because protocols are not guarantee, are not certainty, are not salvation, are only chance, small chance, unlikely chance, but only chance available. Foundation analyzed failure, analyzed Chen's implementation, analyzed what went wrong, identified errors, small errors, timing errors, position errors, errors that should not have mattered, should not have been fatal, but were fatal, because margins are thin, because perfection is required, because almost correct is not correct, is not enough, is death. Case file Delta. Incident 096-7-A. The child. Date of incident March 27, 2012. Location Suburban Michigan, United States. Subject classified. Age 9. Status classified. Child viewed image online. Horror forum. Creepypasta website. Image purported to be SCP-096. Was actual photograph. Was leaked Foundation document. Was real. Child viewed out of curiosity, out of interest in horror, out of love for scary stories, viewed for entertainment, viewed for fun, viewed image that would activate monster, that would send monster to child's location, that would kill child unless something changed, unless someone intervened, unless miracle occurred. Foundation detected image leak immediately, monitored website, tracked viewers, identified child among viewers, identified address, identified danger, decided to intervene, decided child deserved chance, decided civilian child was worth saving, deployed team immediately, reached house within 4 hours, explained situation to parents. Parents did not believe, did not accept, did not cooperate, until Foundation showed proof, showed classified documents, showed 096, showed everything. Then parents believed, then parents cooperated, then parents did everything Foundation instructed. Family was evacuated, relocated, hidden, protected. Child was kept in secure location, monitored constantly, protected by armed personnel, by Foundation resources, by everything available. 096 arrived 42 hours after. Activation, breached facility outer perimeter, Foundation engaged, not to kill, to delay, to slow, to buy time. Engagement failed. 096 ignored weapons, ignored explosives, ignored everything. Continued toward child, continued inevitably, continued unstoppably. Final protocol was implemented. experimental protocol, desperate protocol, protocol with no prior testing, no proven success, no guarantee, but only option remaining. Details are classified, method is restricted, results are classified, but outcome is known. Child survived, became one of 0.03%, became statistical miracle, became proof that salvation is possible, that Foundation can save people, that protocols work sometimes, that survival happens rarely, but happens. Child location is classified, identity is classified, life is classified. Child exists somewhere, in hiding, in protection, in witness protection, but more extreme, forever hidden, forever monitored, forever protected, forever unable to return to normal life, forever unable to be with original family, forever unable to exist openly. Survival came with cost, enormous cost, life-destroying cost, but child is alive, is breathing, is existing, is not dead, is not biological debris, is not stain requiring cleanup. Alive is better than dead, hidden is better than obliterated. Survival cost is acceptable when alternative is death. Case file Epsilon, Incident 096-9-D. The Journalist. Date of incident June 6, 2015. Location: Washington, D.C., United States. Subject Marcus Webb. Age 41. Nationality American. Occupation investigative journalist. Status deceased. Webb was investigating Foundation. Had sources. Had leaks. Had information. Received classified document. Document included photograph. Photograph of 096. Face clearly visible. Webb viewed photograph, studied it, analyzed it, spent minutes examining face, examining details, examining evidence, multiple viewings, extended exposure, maximum activation, maximum marking, maximum doom. Foundation detected leak, traced to Webb, monitored him, decided to observe, decided to use as test case, decided to document civilian response without intervention, without warning, without assistance, decided Webb would die for science, for data, for understanding civilian survival attempts without Foundation guidance. This decision was controversial, was opposed by many personnel, was supported by leadership. Leadership decision prevailed. Webb became unwitting experiment, became sacrifice, became data point. Webb noticed something wrong 12 hours before death, felt watched, felt hunted, felt doomed, did not understand why, had no explanation, just instinct, just feeling, just knowledge that something terrible was approaching. Webb was intelligent, was resourceful, was experienced investigator, used skills, researched 096, found information, found warnings, found survival protocols, found leaked Foundation documents, found everything available, implemented protocols independently, without Foundation assistance, without expert guidance, without professional support. Webb left home, left city, drove to remote location, implemented hiding protocols as understood, did everything he could understand, everything he could determine from fragmented information, from incomplete documents, from partial understanding. It was not enough, was not complete, was not correct. 096 found him. 096 killed him. 096 completed hunt. Webb died knowing death was coming, knowing monster was real, knowing he tried everything possible, knowing it was not enough, knowing he failed, knowing he was about to die. Died with eyes open, died understanding, died aware. This is worse than dying ignorant, worse than dying surprised, worse than dying confused. Webb died knowing exactly what killed him, exactly why he died, exactly how he failed. This knowledge did not help, did not save him, did not matter. He died anyway. Foundation retrieved body, retrieved 096, analyzed Webb's protocols, analyzed his implementation, analyzed his understanding, determined he had 70% correct information, 70% correct implementation, 70% chance of survival. But 70% is not 100%. 30% error is fatal error, is complete failure, is death. Webb proved that partial knowledge is insufficient, that incomplete protocols are useless, that almost correct is completely wrong. This data was valuable, This data improved protocols. This data helps current survival attempts. Webb's death was not meaningless, not wasted, not forgotten. Webb contributed to knowledge, to understanding, to slightly improved survival odds for future victims. His death bought fractions of percentage points, bought small improvements, bought minimal gains, but bought something. This is cold comfort, is no comfort, but is truth. These 5 cases represent different scenarios, different circumstances, different survival attempts, different failures, and one success. One survivor proves 0.03% exists, proves survival is achievable, proves protocols work when implemented perfectly, when circumstances align, when luck intervenes. The other 4 prove how difficult survival is, how easy failure is, how common death is, how unlikely survival is, how desperate situation is. Common factors in failures are identifiable: incomplete information, imperfect implementation, insufficient time, inadequate preparation, small errors, minor mistakes, tiny imperfections. Any of these is fatal. All of these are common. Most people fail in multiple ways. Most people make multiple errors. Most people die from accumulated mistakes rather than single failure. Perfection is required. Perfection is rare. Perfection is nearly impossible. This is why 0.03% is so small, why survival is so rare, why death is so common. Part 4 will explain survival protocols in detail. We'll explain what to do if you are marked, if you are hunted, if you have seen face. We'll explain every step, every action, every requirement. We'll explain what works, what might work, what has worked before. This information is classified, is restricted, is forbidden. Foundation does not want this information public, does not want civilians attempting survival, prefers clean deaths, prefers simple cleanup, prefers minimal complications, but some Foundation personnel disagree, believe you deserve chance, believe survival is right, believe information should be shared. This broadcast violates direct orders, violates security protocols, violates everything but saves lives, rarely, fractionally, but measurably. 0.03% is small, but is not zero. You can be that percent. You must try to be that percent. Listen carefully to Part 4. Your survival depends on it. This information is classified. This information is restricted. This information is not approved for civilian distribution. Foundation leadership has forbidden sharing survival protocols publicly, has classified this information as security risk, as containment risk, as public safety risk. Sharing this information violates direct orders, violates security clearance, violates everything. But civilians are dying without chance, are dying without information, are dying without trying. This is unacceptable. You deserve chance, deserve information, deserve protocols. Even if protocols usually fail, even if survival is unlikely, even if sharing this risks everything, you deserve to know, deserve to try, deserve to fight for your life. Survival protocol begins immediately upon confirmation, upon certainty that you viewed face, that you are marked, that you are being hunted. Do not wait, do not hesitate, do not hope you are wrong. Every second matters, every minute counts, every hour is precious. 096 is already moving toward you, already closing distance, already approaching inevitably. Your survival window is measured in hours, maybe less, probably less. Act now. Step 1 is notification. Tell someone, tell anyone, tell everyone, not for help. Help is impossible. No one can fight 096 for you. No one can stop it. No one can save you. But someone needs to know, needs to understand, needs to document, needs to continue if you fail. Tell someone you trust. Tell them everything. Tell them about 096. Tell them you are marked. Tell them you are attempting survival. Tell them where you are going. Tell them what you are doing. Tell them to expect you will probably fail, probably die, probably not contact them again. But maybe, small maybe, 0.03% maybe. This notification is not for you, is for afterward, is for whoever finds your body or does not find your body, or needs to know you tried, you fought, you did not surrender. Step 2 is movement. Leave immediately. Leave your location, leave your home, Leave your city if possible. Distance does not stop 096, does not prevent arrival, does not guarantee survival. But distance buys time, buys preparation time, buys implementation time, buys hours that might mean difference between life and death. Go somewhere remote, somewhere isolated, somewhere far from people, not to protect yourself, to protect others. 096 will come through populated areas, will destroy obstacles, will cause collateral damage, will kill bystanders accidentally, through structural collapse, through panic, through being in wrong place when 096 passes through. You are death magnet now, are danger, are threat to everyone near you. Isolate yourself, protect others, go somewhere empty. Step 3 is preparation. You need supplies, specific supplies, unusual supplies, supplies that seem random but are essential. First supply is mirrors, many mirrors, small handheld mirrors, at least 6, preferably more. Mirrors are observation tools, are seeing tools, are survival tools. You cannot look at 096 directly, cannot view face again. Second viewing is death sentence without possibility of survival. Face must never be viewed directly again, must only be viewed through mirrors, through reflection. This is only safe viewing method, only way to observe without triggering, only way to see without dying. Second supply is obstacles, doors, lots of doors, building with many doors between you and outside. Doors do not stop 096, do not prevent entry, do not block path, but doors slow it, force it to break through, force it to make noise, force it to announce approach. Each door is seconds, seconds of warning, seconds of preparation, seconds of life. You need many seconds, need many doors, need many warnings. Find building with complex layout, multiple rooms, multiple barriers, multiple obstacles. The more complicated, the better. Third supply is noise cancellation. Earplugs, headphones, anything that blocks sound. 096 approach is audible, is loud, is terrifying. The screaming, the breathing, the sounds. These sounds cause panic, cause fear, cause mistakes. You cannot afford panic, cannot afford fear, cannot afford mistakes. Block the sounds, reduce the terror, maintain focus, maintain control, maintain ability to think clearly despite approaching doom. Fourth supply is weapons, not for fighting. Fighting 096 is impossible, is suicide, is pointless. Weapons are for mercy, for you, for ending yourself quickly if capture is imminent, if survival fails, if 096 reaches you. Better to die quickly by your own hand than slowly by 096. Better to die with control than without. Better to die on your terms than its terms. Weapon is last resort, is failure option, is unacceptable option that might become only option. Have weapon available, hope you never use it, but have it. Fifth supply is communication, phone, radio, anything that connects you to outside. Not for rescue. Rescue is impossible, but for documentation, for recording, for leaving evidence, for explaining to whoever finds your body or finds nothing, for leaving message, for saying goodbye, for completing unfinished business in final hours, for making peace with death that is probably coming. Communication allows this, allows closure, allows meaning in final moments. Step 4 is positioning. Choose room carefully. Room must have single entrance. Only one way in, one door, one access point, one place 096 must enter. This is critical. Multiple entrances mean multiple approach vectors, mean uncertainty, mean reduced preparation, mean increased death risk. Single entrance means certainty, means focus, means concentration of defensive preparation. Even though defense is futile, even though 096 cannot be stopped, even though this probably fails, single entrance maximizes survival fraction from 0.03 to 0.04, from unlikely to slightly less unlikely. Position yourself far from entrance. Opposite corner. Maximum distance. Maximum reaction time. Maximum warning. Face entrance. Watch entrance. Monitor entrance constantly. Using mirrors. Never directly. Always through reflection. Always indirect. Always safe. Place mirrors strategically. Angles allowing observation of entrance without direct line of sight, without seeing entrance directly, without risking seeing 096 face when it enters. Mirrors are everything. Mirrors are survival. Mirrors are the difference between 0.03 and 0. Step 5 is waiting. This is hardest step, is longest step, is most psychologically damaging step. You wait for death. You wait for monster. You wait for hours knowing something is coming, something unstoppable, something that will kill you unless everything goes perfectly, unless you execute flawlessly, unless luck intervenes. Waiting is torture, is anticipatory death, is experiencing murder before murder occurs, but waiting is necessary, is required, is part of protocol. During waiting, maintain focus, maintain vigilance, maintain mirror observation. Do not sleep, cannot sleep, must stay awake, must stay aware, must see 096 approaching, must know when approach begins, must recognize final phase. Sleep is death. Exhaustion is death. Inattention is death. Stay awake. Use stimulants if necessary. Use pain if necessary. Use anything that maintains consciousness, that maintains awareness, that keeps you alive until the moment. During waiting, prepare mentally. Accept probable death. Accept likely failure. Accept that you will probably die in next hours. Make peace with this. Say goodbyes through communication device. Complete final thoughts. Finish final business. Assume you will not survive. Assume this is end. Assume death is coming. This acceptance is not surrender, is not giving up, is not defeat, is preparation, is making death easier if death comes, is reducing fear, is maintaining control, is facing end with dignity rather than denial, but also maintain hope. Small hope, desperate hope, 0.03% hope. You might survive. Unlikely but possible. Has happened before, could happen again, could happen to you. Maintain this hope. Let hope drive your focus, your vigilance, your perfect execution. Hope is not guarantee, is not promise, is not likely, but is possible, is not 0. You can be that fraction. You must try to be that fraction. Step 6 is recognition. Knowing when 096 arrives, knowing when final phase begins, knowing when survival attempt must execute. Recognition comes through signs, through warnings, through observations. First sign is distant screaming, very distant, miles away maybe, barely audible through walls and doors and noise cancellation. But there, faint, unmistakable, wrong. That scream means 096 is in area, is approaching, is coming closer. You have minutes remaining, maybe 10 minutes, maybe less. Prepare. Second sign is structural sounds, building shaking, walls vibrating, objects rattling. 096 approach causes disturbance, causes disruption, causes everything nearby to react to its presence, to its wrongness, to its impossible nature. These vibrations intensify as approach continues, as distance closes, as arrival nears. When vibrations begin, you have minutes, single-digit minutes. Prepare urgently. Third sign is door destruction, hearing doors breaking, hearing wood splintering, hearing metal tearing. 096 breaking through obstacles, breaking through barriers, breaking toward you. Each door is seconds. Count the doors. Calculate remaining time. Prepare for imminent arrival. When second to last door breaks, you have seconds. When last door is being broken, you have no time. Execute immediately. Step 7 is execution. This is survival moment. This is 0.03% moment. This is where protocol succeeds or fails, where you live or die, where everything matters. The execution is specific, is precise, is unforgiving of error, must be perfect, must be exact, must be flawless. When 096 enters room, you must not look, must not see face, must see only through mirrors, must maintain mirror observation only. This is critical, is foundational, is non-negotiable. Direct viewing is death. Mirror viewing is survival chance. Watch in mirrors as 096 enters. Watch as it looks for you. Watch as it locates you. Watch as it approaches. All through mirrors. Only mirrors. Never direct. Never breaking this rule. Never looking. 096 will approach slowly, will walk toward you deliberately, will reach for you with long arms, long fingers. This is the moment. This is the split second. This is when you move. Not before, not after. Exactly when. Move perpendicular to approach, move sideways, move to different position in room. 096 is fast, but has momentum, has direction, has commitment. To current approach vector, cannot change direction instantly, takes moment to adjust, to redirect, to reorient. That moment is your opportunity, your only opportunity, your 0.03% moment. As you move, 096 will track you. Will turn toward new position, will redirect approach, will reach again, you must move again. Same technique, wait until committed, wait until reaching, then move perpendicular, dodge, evade, repeat. This is survival, this is protocol. This is how 0.03% survives. Not fighting, dodging, not attacking, evading, not engaging, avoiding, for as long as possible, for as long as you can, for as long as strength lasts. 096 will eventually adapt, will learn pattern, will anticipate movement, will catch you. Probably will catch you. This is why survival rate is 0.03%, because eventually dodging fails. Eventually, you slow. Eventually, you err. Eventually, 096 adjusts enough, anticipates correctly, catches you, kills you. This is expected. This is normal. This is why protocol is desperate. But before catching, minutes pass. Minutes of survival. Minutes of continued existence. Minutes that occasionally, rarely, miraculously result in 096 pause. The pause is anomaly, is unexplained behavior, is rare occurrence. 096 sometimes stops pursuing, stops mid-hunt, sits down, covers face, returns to distress. This has happened, is documented, is verified, happens approximately 0.03% of hunts when target evades long enough, when target demonstrates sufficient will to live, when something in 096 breaks, when it cannot continue, when its suffering exceeds its compulsion momentarily, when it chooses not to kill, chooses not to continue, chooses to stop. If pause occurs, you have minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe less, before 096 resumes, before compulsion reasserts, before hunt continues. Use these minutes. Escape room, escape building, create distance, create obstacles, reset positioning, implement protocol again, hope for second pause, second miracle, second chance. Multiple pauses are documented, are possible, are survival mechanism. Each pause is reprieve, is gift, is additional minutes of life. Accumulate enough minutes, accumulate enough pauses, survive until 096 gives up permanently, returns to docile, allows survival. This is 0.03%. This is survival. This is miracle that occasionally happens. But usually pause does not occur. Usually 096 catches target. Usually protocol fails. Usually survival attempt ends in death, in violent death, in expected death. If you are caught, if protocol fails, if survival is impossible, use weapon on yourself. End yourself quickly. Deny 096 its kill. Deny it satisfaction. Deny it completion of hunt. Die on your terms. This is final dignity, final control, final choice. Better than alternative. Better than 8-minute. Kill. Better than being torn apart while conscious. Better than experiencing your obliteration. Quick death is mercy. Is gift you give yourself. Is last act of control in uncontrollable situation. These are protocols. These are instructions. These are survival steps. They work 0.03% of time. This is not good odds. Is terrible odds. Is nearly zero odds, but is not zero. Is not impossible. Is not hopeless. Some people survive. Rare people. Lucky people. Perfect people. You could be one, might be one, should try to be one. Because alternative is dying without trying, dying without fighting, dying without hope, and that is unacceptable. That is surrender. That is giving 096 easy victory. Make it work for the kill. make it chase, make it hunt, make it earn your death, and maybe, miraculously, improbably, impossibly, make it fail, make it pause, make it stop. Make yourself survivor, make yourself 0.03%, make yourself the miracle. Part 5 will explain what happens after survival, after escape, after becoming 0.03%. We'll explain life after surviving, consequences of survival, costs of survival, because survival is not return to normal, is not happy ending, is not relief. Survival is beginning of different nightmare, different horror, different existence. You survive 096 only to enter new hell, new prison, new life that is not life, but is better than death, is continuation, is existence, however compromised, however limited, however terrible, better than being biological debris, better than stain on floor, better than nothing. Survival has costs, but costs are acceptable. Costs are worth paying. Listen to Part 5 to understand what you are choosing, what survival means, what life after 096 looks like. You survived against impossible odds, against mathematical certainty, against everything. You dodged, you evaded, you persisted. 096 paused, paused again, paused enough times, eventually stopped, eventually sat, eventually covered face, eventually returned to distress state permanently. Eventually gave up, eventually let you live. You are 0.03%. You are statistical miracle. You are impossibility made real. You are alive when you should be dead. Congratulations, your nightmare is just beginning. Survival is not freedom, is not relief, is not return to normal life. Normal life ended the moment you viewed face, ended permanently, ended forever. That life is gone. That person is gone. That existence is impossible now. You are different person now. Changed person, broken person, person who survived impossible thing, person who experienced approaching death, person who fought monster, person who won against unwinnable odds. This experience changes you, fundamentally, irreversibly, completely. First change is psychological. You have trauma, severe trauma, complex trauma, trauma that cannot be treated normally, cannot be discussed with normal therapist, cannot be explained to normal doctor, cannot be processed through normal means, because experience was not normal, was supernatural, was anomalous, was impossible. Normal psychology cannot address impossible trauma, cannot treat anomalous experience, cannot heal wounds caused by things that should not exist. The nightmares are constant. Every night, every time you close eyes, every time you sleep, you see 096. See it approaching, see it reaching, see its face. The face you survived seeing, the face that marked you, the face that hunted you, the face that nearly killed you. You see it in dreams, see it in memory, see it every time you close your eyes. This never stops, never fades, never improves. Survivors report nightmares continuing for years, for decades, for remainder of life. The face is burned into memory, into consciousness, into existence, cannot be removed, cannot be forgotten, cannot be escaped even in sleep. The hypervigilance is permanent. You are always watching, always monitoring, always checking surroundings, always looking for threats, always preparing for another attack, always ready to run, always ready to hide, always ready to fight. This is exhausting, is debilitating, is incompatible with normal life, cannot maintain relationships, cannot hold employment, cannot function socially, cannot exist normally, always watching, always afraid, always ready. This is survival adaptation, is necessary response, is what kept you alive, but is what makes living impossible. The isolation is inevitable. You cannot explain what happened, cannot share experience, cannot tell anyone who would believe, cannot process through normal social support, cannot connect with people who have not experienced impossible, cannot relate to normal concerns, normal problems, normal life. You survived monster, survived impossible, survived death. Normal people cannot understand, cannot empathize, cannot relate. You are alone, fundamentally alone, permanently alone. Even surrounded by people, you are isolated, separated by experience, by knowledge, by understanding of reality that others do not share, cannot share, should not share. Second change is practical. You cannot return home, cannot return to normal location, cannot resume previous life. 096 knows where you were, knows where you lived, knows your location. The entity is contained again, is docile again, is sitting in cell again. But activation risk remains. If anyone else views your face in photograph, if anyone else sees image containing you, if any documentation of you exists that shows face, they might view it, might activate 096, might send it hunting again, might send it to your last known location, might send it to your home, where you cannot be, must not be, would die if you were. You must relocate, must disappear, must establish new identity, new location, new life. This is not witness protection, is not government program, is not official support, is you alone creating new existence from nothing. Foundation does not help survivors, does not provide support, does not acknowledge you exist. You are statistical anomaly, our embarrassment, our proof that containment fails, our evidence of information leaks. Foundation prefers you did not exist, prefers you died, prefers clean statistics, but you survived, you exist. You are their failure made manifest. They will not help you, will not protect you, will not acknowledge you. You are on your own, completely, permanently, forever. New identity requires documents, requires background, requires history, requires everything. Obtaining these illegally is difficult, is expensive, is dangerous, but necessary. Absolutely necessary, cannot exist with old identity. Old identity is marked, is documented, is trackable, must disappear completely, must erase all connection to previous life, must become different person, must abandon family, must abandon friends, must abandon everyone, must leave everyone behind, must let them think you died, must let them mourn, must never contact them again. This is survival requirement, is non-negotiable, is permanent. New location must be carefully chosen, must be remote, must be isolated, must be place where few people live, where few people visit, where few people take photographs, where image saturation is low, where risk of your face appearing in background is minimal, where chance of secondary activation is reduced, not eliminated, never eliminated, but reduced. Urban areas are impossible. Cities are death traps. Too many cameras, too many phones, too many images, too many chances, too many risks. Rural areas only, remote areas only, empty areas only. Places where you can control your visibility, can control your exposure, can control your risk. Employment is limited, cannot work normal job, cannot have public-facing position, cannot appear in workplace photos, cannot attend work events, cannot have coworkers who take pictures, cannot exist in any documented way, must work remotely, must work alone, must work invisibly. Options are few, income is limited, life is constrained, but life continues. Compromised life, limited life, difficult life, but life, better than death, better than nothing, better than biological debris. Third change is awareness. You know things now, know things you should not know things most people do not believe, know things that change everything. You know anomalies are real, no monsters exist, no foundation exists, no reality is not what people think, no danger is everywhere, no horror is real. This knowledge is burden, is weight, is curse, cannot unknow, cannot forget, cannot dismiss, cannot return to comfortable ignorance. To believing world is safe, to believing monsters are fiction. You know truth, truth that ruins comfortable lies, truth that makes life harder, truth that isolates you further. You know about other SCPs, about other anomalies, about other dangers. 096 is one entity, one threat, one monster, but others exist, many others, thousands of others. Foundation contains thousands, thousands of impossible things, thousands of deadly things, thousands of things that could kill you, that might kill you, that may already be affecting you. This knowledge is paranoia fuel, is anxiety generator, is fear multiplier. You survived one SCP, but others exist. Others might find you, others might kill you, others might be affecting you now. This awareness never stops, never fades, never allows peace. You know Foundation fails, no containment breaches, no people die, no civilians are sacrificed, no government conspiracy is real, no powerful people choose secrecy over safety. Choose control over truth. Choose acceptable losses over prevention. This knowledge changes politics, changes trust, changes everything. Cannot trust authority. Cannot trust government, cannot trust institutions, cannot believe anything official. Because you know they lie. Know they cover up. Know they let people die. Know they chose not to warn you. Chose to let you figure it out. Chose to let you die if you failed. This knowledge destroys faith, destroys trust, destroys any remaining comfort. Fourth change is physical. The encounter affected you. The stress. The terror. The impossible experience. Your body remembers. Your cells remember. Your system remembers. You experience unexplained symptoms, unexplained pain, unexplained problems. Doctors find nothing wrong. Tests show normal results, but symptoms persist. Pain continues. Problems remain. This is anomalous exposure effect. Is consequence of encountering impossible, of surviving impossible, of experiencing reality violation. Your body knows something wrong happened, knows reality broke, knows normal rules failed, reacts accordingly, malfunctions accordingly, suffers accordingly. Sleep is difficult, beyond nightmares, beyond dreams. Your body resists sleep, resists unconsciousness, resists vulnerability. Sleep is danger. Sleep is when 096 arrived before. Sleep is when you are unaware, unready, unprepared. Body remembers, body refuses. Body keeps you awake, keeps you vigilant, keeps you ready. This causes exhaustion, chronic exhaustion, debilitating exhaustion. But body prioritizes survival over rest, prioritizes awareness over recovery, prioritizes readiness over health. This is adaptive, is survival mechanism, but is destructive, is unsustainable, is slowly killing you. Slowly. Over years. Over decades. But better than quickly. Better than 096. Better than violent death. Slow death from exhaustion is acceptable, is survivable, is manageable. Startle response is extreme. Any unexpected sound, any sudden movement, any surprise stimulus, you react violently, jump, panic, prepare to fight or flee. This is appropriate response for someone who survived monster, for someone who was hunted, for someone who nearly died, but inappropriate for normal life, for safe situations, for non-threatening stimuli, causes problems, causes incidents, causes people to avoid you, to fear you, to think you are unstable. They are right. You are unstable, but not crazy, not irrational, appropriately unstable, reasonably unstable, justifiably unstable. You survived impossible. Instability is reasonable response. Fifth change is purpose. You know something others do not, understand something others cannot, survived something others would not. This knowledge has value, has utility, has purpose. Some survivors choose to share, choose to warn, choose to help others avoid their experience, choose to spread survival protocols, choose to violate Foundation secrecy, choose to risk everything to save others. This broadcast is made by survivors, made by 0.03%, made by people who lived when they should have died, who want others to live also, who believe information should be shared, who believe survival chance is right, even if small, even if unlikely, even if dangerous to share. This choice has consequences. Foundation monitors survivors, watches them, tracks them, ensures silence, ensures compliance, ensures they do not spread information, do not share protocols, do not warn others. Survivors who violate secrecy are handled, are suppressed, are silenced. Methods vary, results are consistent. Information stops spreading, survivor stops sharing, one way or another, permanently. This risk is known, is accepted, is worthwhile, because sharing information saves lives, rarely, fractionally, but measurably. 0.03% of people warned might survive, might live, might avoid death. This is worth risk, worth consequence, worth everything. Other survivors choose differently, choose silence, choose compliance, choose safety, choose to never speak of experience, never share protocols, never warn anyone, never violate Foundation demands. These survivors live longer, live safer, live quieter, but live with guilt, with knowledge that they could help, could warn, could save, but choose not to. Choose self-preservation over altruism. This choice is understandable, is reasonable, is acceptable. Survival is hard enough. Adding Foundation attention makes it impossible. Some survivors cannot handle additional risk, cannot handle additional danger, cannot handle additional threat. They choose silence. This is not cowardice. This is survival. This is reasonable choice. Sixth change is connection. Some survivors find each other, find other 0.03%, find others who understand, who experienced impossible, who survived impossible, who live with consequences. These connections are valuable, are essential, are only social support available, only people who understand, only relationships possible. Other survivors do not need explanation, do not need proof, do not need convincing. They know, they understand, they share experience, share trauma, share burden. But connections are dangerous. Survivors attracting attention attract Foundation attention. Multiple survivors together attract more attention, attract investigation, attract suppression. Foundation does not want survivors organizing, does not want survivors communicating, does not want survivors sharing information. Survivors must meet carefully, must communicate secretly, must hide connection, must protect each other while staying separate enough to avoid attracting attention. This balance is difficult, is delicate, is necessary. Some survivors form relationships, form families, form lives together. These relationships are complicated, are intense, are built on shared trauma, on shared understanding, on shared impossibility. These relationships are unstable, are volatile, are prone to problems, but also are deep, are meaningful, are real in ways normal relationships are not. Two people who survived impossible understand each other completely. Connect on level others cannot reach, cannot achieve, cannot understand. These relationships are rare, are precious, are worth difficulty, worth instability, worth everything. Seventh change is hope. You survived. You are proof survival is possible. You are evidence 0.03% is real. You are demonstration that protocols work, that information helps, that fighting matters. You are hope. For everyone marked, for everyone hunted, for everyone who might view face, you prove death is not certain, not inevitable, not unavoidable. You prove fighting back works, rarely, fractionally, but measurably. You are living evidence that survival is possible. This is important. This is meaningful. This is purpose. But you are also evidence of cost, of consequences, of price of survival. Your life is not enviable, is not comfortable, is not happy. Survival came with enormous cost. Cost of normal life, cost of family, cost of friends, cost of career, cost of home, cost of everything. You paid everything to survive. Was it worth it? You are alive. You are breathing. You are existing. But existing is not living. Breathing is not thriving. Surviving is not succeeding. You paid everything for compromised existence, for difficult life, for painful continuation. Was it worth it? Only you can answer this. Only survivors can answer this. Some say yes, say survival is always worth any cost, say living is better than dying regardless of how difficult living becomes, say they would choose survival again, would pay cost again, would accept consequences again. Because being alive is inherently valuable, is fundamentally good, is worth any price. These survivors have hope, have purpose, have reason to continue. Others say no, say cost was too high, say survival is not worth this existence, say they wish they had died quickly rather than live this way, say the price is unbearable, say the consequences are unacceptable, say they would choose differently, would let 096 catch them, would end it quickly, would die, rather than live like this. These survivors have no hope, have no purpose, have no reason except continuation. They survive but do not live, exist but do not thrive, continue but do not want to. You will decide for yourself. If you are marked, if you are hunted, if you survive, you will pay the cost. You will live the consequences. You will experience the changes. And you will decide if survival was worth it. If the price was acceptable. If the life after is better than death before. Only you can make this choice. Only you can live this existence. Only you can determine if 0.03% is victory or just different form of defeat. Part 6 will explain one more thing. One critical thing. One thing you must understand before implementation. The chance you have already seen, face without knowing. The probability you are already marked. The likelihood 096 is already coming for you right now. This moment. While you listen. While you learn. While you prepare. Part 6 will help you determine. Help you assess. Help you understand if you are in danger now. If you should implement protocols now. If you should run now. Listen carefully. This determination might save your life, or might reveal that saving is already impossible, that death is already approaching, that you have only hours remaining. Listen to Part 6. Understand your status. Act accordingly. You need to assess your risk. Need to determine probability. Need to calculate if you have already seen, face, already been marked, already been condemned. This assessment is critical, is urgent, is potentially life-saving, or life-ending, because if you have seen face, you have limited time. Very limited time. Maybe hours, maybe less. Maybe 096 is already approaching, already closing distance, already coming for you right now while you listen to this broadcast. The assessment has multiple factors, multiple considerations, multiple probabilities to calculate. First factor is image exposure. Have you viewed anomalous images recently? Have you browsed horror content? Have you visited SCP Wiki? Have you explored creepypasta forums? Have you searched for images of monsters, of entities, of things that should not exist? If yes, your risk is elevated, is significant, is concerning. 096 images exist online, exist in multiple locations, exist despite Foundation efforts to remove them, exist because leaks happen, because breaches occur, because information escapes. These images are usually disguised, usually mislabeled, usually presented as artistic renderings, as fictional creatures, as horror content. Users view them thinking they are safe, thinking they are fake, thinking they are entertainment. They are not safe, are not fake, are not entertainment, are real, are dangerous, are lethal. How many horror images have you viewed in last 72 hours? Try to remember, try to count, try to assess. Each image is risk, each viewing is gamble, each exposure is potential death sentence. Most images are safe, most are actually fiction, most are harmless artistic creation, but some are not, some are real, some contain actual 096 face, actual trigger, actual death. You cannot distinguish safe from dangerous, cannot identify real from fake, cannot know which image was fatal until too late, until 096 activates, until hunt begins, until you have hours to live. Second factor is background content. This is insidious factor, is hidden factor, is factor you cannot control or recognize. Images you viewed might have contained 096 in background, in corner, in shadow, in blur, not as main subject, not as focus, not as obvious content, but present, visible, sufficient to trigger, sufficient to mark, sufficient to kill. Mountain photographs are high risk, hiking photographs, wilderness photographs, remote location photographs. 096 exists in remote areas when not contained, when breached, when hunting other targets. Could be in background of innocent photograph, could be tiny figure in distance, could be barely visible speck, but sufficient, always sufficient. Any visibility is total visibility. Any viewing is complete viewing. Any exposure is fatal exposure. Tourist photographs are moderate risk. Travel photographs, vacation photographs, photographs of places, of landscapes, of scenery. These sometimes contain backgrounds, contain distances, contain horizons, could contain 096 if timing is wrong, if location is wrong, if photograph was taken during active hunt, during active breach, during period when 096 was traveling to different target, was passing through area, was visible in distance. These photographs are death traps, are invisible dangers, are risks you cannot assess. Social media is continuous risk. Friends post photographs, family posts photographs, strangers post photographs. Algorithms show you photographs, randomly, constantly, endlessly. Each photograph could contain background, could contain distance, could contain 096. You scroll, you view, you expose yourself, repeatedly, daily, constantly, cannot avoid, cannot prevent, cannot escape. Social media is Russian roulette, is constant gamble, is playing odds every day, every hour, every minute. Most spins are safe, chamber is empty, gun does not fire, but eventually, statistically, inevitably, chamber is loaded, gun fires. You view wrong image, you are marked, you die. Third factor is timeline. When did you last view images? Last 72 hours is danger window, is active risk period, is time when hunt would occur. If you viewed triggering image more than 72 hours ago, you are probably safe, probably survived, probably viewed only safe images, probably are not marked, but probably is. Not certainly. Longest documented hunt was 6 days, was 144 hours, was double normal danger window. This hunt is outlier, is extreme exception, is not normal, but is possible, is documented, is real. If you viewed images within last 6 days, you are still at minimal risk, still at edge of possibility, still at fringe of danger. Fourth factor is symptoms. Are you experiencing unusual feelings? Unusual sensations? Unusual awareness? Physical symptoms are subtle, are psychological, are instinctual. Your body knows danger before your mind knows. Your instinct recognizes threat before your consciousness recognizes. Your system alerts you before your awareness understands. These alerts are feelings, are sensations, are symptoms you cannot explain logically but experience physically. Feeling of being watched is primary symptom. Constant feeling. Persistent feeling. Feeling that will not stop. Feeling that has no rational explanation. Feeling that began recently, within last days, within danger window. If you feel watched now, if you felt watched while listening to this broadcast, if you feel watched constantly, this might be symptom, might be warning, might be indication you are marked, that 096 has activated, that hunt has begun, that entity is aware of you, is tracking you, is approaching you. This feeling is not proof, is not certainty. Many things cause feeling of being watched: paranoia, anxiety, stress. But in context of recent image viewing, in context of danger window, in context of potential exposure, this feeling is concerning, is warning sign, is reason to take precautions. Sense of approaching doom is secondary symptom. Unexplained dread, unexplained certainty that something terrible is coming, that danger is approaching, that death is near. This feeling has no logical basis, no rational explanation, no obvious cause, but persists anyway, intensifies anyway, dominates awareness anyway. This is instinct, is survival mechanism. Is your system warning you? Trying to save you, trying to prepare you. If you feel doom approaching, if you felt it before this broadcast, if you feel it during this broadcast, if you feel it now, this might be symptom, might be warning, might be indication your time is limited, that threat is real, that danger is imminent. Unexplained anxiety is tertiary symptom, anxiety with no identifiable source, anxiety that began suddenly, anxiety that will not resolve, anxiety focused on safety, on danger, on threat, on death. This anxiety is different from normal anxiety, is more intense, is more focused, is more certain, is not worry about possibilities, is certainty about reality, is knowing rather than fearing. If your anxiety feels like knowledge, like certainty, like recognition of truth rather than fear of possibility, this might be symptom, might be warning, might be your instinct telling you what your mind has not yet accepted, that you are marked, that you are hunted, that you are about to die. Fifth factor is environmental signs. Have you noticed anything unusual in environment? Any strange sounds, any strange occurrences, any strange disruptions? These signs are late-stage warnings, are near-death warnings, are indications 096 is close, is approaching, is almost there. If you experience these, you have very little time. Maybe minutes, maybe less, maybe none. Distant sounds are first environmental sign. Sounds that do not belong, sounds that seem wrong, sounds that feel unnatural, screaming that is not human, that is not animal, that is not mechanical, that is something else, something impossible, something that should not exist. If you hear this, if you heard this recently, if you hear this now, you are in danger. Immediate danger, critical danger. 096 is nearby, is approaching, is coming for you. Implement protocols immediately, right now. Do not delay, do not hesitate, do not question, move, run, hide, survive. Structural disturbances are second environmental sign. Building shaking, walls vibrating, objects rattling, ground moving, not earthquake, not traffic, not normal vibration, something else, something wrong, something approaching, something large, something powerful, something that warps reality around it. If you feel this, if you felt this recently, if you feel this now, 096 is very close, is minutes away, maybe less. Implement emergency protocols, immediate protocols, final protocols. You have almost no time, almost no chance, almost no hope, but almost is not nothing. Act now, survive now, fight now. Door sounds are third environmental sign. Sounds of entry, sounds of forced entry, sounds of destruction, doors breaking, locks shattering, barriers failing, something entering, something approaching, something coming through. If you hear this, you have seconds, not minutes, seconds, maybe less, maybe already too late, but try anyway, move anyway, fight anyway. Do not surrender, do not accept, do not stop trying until the end, until contact, until catch, until death. Fight every second, use every moment, maximize every opportunity. You might survive, unlikely but possible. Try, always try, never surrender. Sixth factor is confirmation. Have you received warning? Have you been contacted? Have you been notified? Foundation sometimes warns targets, rarely. When target is valuable, when target is important, when target is connected, when target is worth saving. Most targets receive no warning. Most targets are acceptable losses. Most targets die without knowing, without understanding, without chance. But some are warned, some are contacted, some are offered protocols. If you received Foundation contact, if you received official warning, if you received authenticated communication, believe it, trust it, act immediately. Foundation does not issue false warnings, does not waste resources on pranks, does not contact civilians without cause. If Foundation contacts you, you are marked, you are hunted, you are about to die, unless you act, unless you implement, unless you survive. How do you know if contact is real, if warning is legitimate, if communication is authentic? Foundation uses specific protocols, specific codes, specific authentication. But you do not know these, have not been trained, have not been briefed, cannot verify independently, must use judgment, must assess credibility, must decide if contact is real or fake. Real contact includes specific information, includes details about 096, includes terminology from this broadcast, includes accurate descriptions, includes useful protocols, includes genuine help. Fake contact includes vague warnings, includes demands for money, includes suspicious links, includes anything that feels wrong. Trust instinct. If contact feels legitimate, treat as legitimate. If contact feels false, ignore it, but be wrong carefully. Being wrong about fake contact wastes time. Being wrong about real contact kills you. Seventh factor is probability calculation. Combine all factors. Assess total risk. Calculate likelihood you are marked. This calculation is imperfect, is uncertain, is guesswork, but is better than nothing, is better than ignorance, is better than waiting blindly. If you viewed many images recently, risk is high. If you viewed few images, risk is low. If you viewed images in danger window, risk is elevated. If you viewed images outside window, risk is minimal. If you experience symptoms, risk is significant. If you experience no symptoms, risk is reduced. If you hear environmental signs, risk is critical. If you hear nothing, risk is lower. If you received warning, risk is confirmed. If you received nothing, risk is probable but not certain. Combine factors. High image exposure plus symptoms plus timeline equals high risk, equals possible marking, equals potential hunt, equals reason to implement protocols, to take precautions, to prepare for possibility. Low image exposure plus no symptoms plus old timeline equals low risk, equals unlikely marking, equals improbable hunt, equals less reason to panic, less reason to implement, less reason to destroy life on unlikely possibility. But remember, low risk is not no risk. Unlikely is not impossible. Improbable is not never. You might be marked despite low risk, might be hunted despite no symptoms, might die despite calculating low probability. Calculations are guidance, are assessment, are tools, but are not certainty, are not guarantee, are not perfect knowledge. You must decide, must choose, must determine if risk is sufficient, if concern is warranted, if action is necessary. Eighth factor is decision framework. How do you decide? How do you choose? How do you determine if you should act? This decision is impossibly difficult, is life-altering, is everything. Implement protocols unnecessarily and you destroy your life, destroy your relationships, destroy your existence. For nothing, for imagined threat, for possibility that never materializes. Fail to implement when necessary and you die. Die violently, die unnecessarily, die preventably. Both outcomes are terrible. Both outcomes are unacceptable. Both outcomes are possible. Conservative approach says implement always, says better to destroy life unnecessarily than die preventably, says false positive is acceptable, says false negative is fatal, says when in doubt, implement. This approach saves maximum lives, prevents maximum deaths, maximizes survival, but also destroys maximum lives unnecessarily, causes maximum false implementations, creates maximum refugees, creates maximum destroyed existence over false alarms. This approach prioritizes survival over quality of life, prioritizes existence over happiness, prioritizes continuation over comfort. Liberal approach says implement rarely, says better to risk death than destroy life unnecessarily, says false positive is unacceptable, says false negative is unfortunate but unlikely, says when in doubt, wait. This approach destroys minimum lives unnecessarily, prevents minimum false implementations, minimizes unnecessary refugees, but also allows maximum deaths, permits maximum preventable casualties, enables maximum people to die who could have survived. This approach prioritizes quality of life over survival, prioritizes happiness over existence, prioritizes comfort over continuation. You must choose approach, must select framework, must decide philosophy. Are you conservative survivor or liberal gambler? Do you destroy life to maximize survival or risk death to maximize quality? Do you implement on possibility or wait for certainty? This choice is yours, is personal, is based on your values, your priorities, your assessment of acceptable risk. No right answer exists. No correct choice exists. Both approaches have merit. Both approaches have cost. Choose based on who you are, what you value, what you can accept, what you cannot accept. Part 7 will explain what to do right now. This moment. Based on your assessment, based on your calculation, based on your decision, will provide immediate actions. Immediate protocols. Immediate choices. For high-risk assessment. For low-risk assessment. For uncertain assessment, will guide you through decision tree, through action matrix, through survival protocols based on your specific situation, your specific risk, your specific assessment. Listen carefully to Part 7. Your survival might depend on acting correctly right now, this moment, without delay. Part 7 begins immediately. Listen now. Decide now. Act now. You have assessed, you have calculated, you have considered. Now you must act. Must decide. Must choose. This moment is critical. Is decisive. Is potentially final. What you do in next minutes determines if you live or die. If you survive or perish. If you continue or end. Choose carefully. Choose quickly. Choose correctly. If your assessment is high risk, if you believe you are marked, if you think you viewed face, act immediately, right now, this second. Do not finish listening. Do not complete broadcast. Do not wait. Move now. Every second counts. Every moment matters. Every delay reduces survival probability. Stand up. Leave location. Implement protocols. Survive. Return to broadcast later if you survive. If you have time. If protocols allow. But move first. Act first. Survive first. Everything else is secondary. High-risk protocol is immediate evacuation. Leave your current location within 5 minutes, not 10 minutes, not 15 minutes, 5 minutes maximum. Less is better, immediate is best. Grab essentials only. Phone, wallet, keys, nothing else. No packing, no preparation, no delay. Every item you pack is seconds wasted, seconds you do not have, seconds that might mean death. Leave everything, leave everyone, leave now. Go to vehicle if available. Drive to remote location, any remote location, away from people, away from population, away from anyone you might endanger. Drive fast, drive far, drive until you find isolated building. Then implement full protocols, mirrors, doors, position. Everything from Part 4, everything exactly. No shortcuts, no compromises, no errors, perfect implementation, or death. These are only options. If no vehicle available, use any transportation. Bus, train, taxi, bicycle, walking, any method, any speed, any direction, just away, just moving, just creating distance. Transportation is temporary, is emergency measure, is buying time until proper location is reached, until full protocols can implement, until survival becomes possible. If no transportation available, find nearest building with proper characteristics. Multiple doors, single room, defendable position. Implement protocols there. Imperfect location is better than no location. Immediate implementation is better than delayed implementation. Survive where you are if you cannot reach better location. Use available resources, use available space, use available time. Maximize every advantage, minimize every disadvantage. While moving, call someone. Tell them situation. Tell them everything. Tell them you might die. Tell them you love them if appropriate. Tell them where you are going if you know. Tell them to expect you might not contact again, might not survive, might not return. This call is not for help, is for closure, is for goodbye, is for completing what needs completing. Make call brief. Make call meaningful. Make call final. After implementing protocols, wait, monitor, observe through mirrors, stay awake, stay vigilant, stay ready. If 096 does not arrive within 24 hours, you might be safe, might have miscalculated, might have false alarmed, but remain cautious, remain ready, remain implemented. False alarm becomes real alarm if you relax too soon, if you abandon protocols too quickly, if you assume safety prematurely. Wait 48 hours minimum, 72 hours preferred. Only then consider returning. Consider normalizing. Consider possibility you are safe. If your assessment is low risk, if you believe you are not marked, if you think you did not view face, remain calm, remain present, remain listening. You are probably safe, probably unmarked, probably not hunted, but probably is not certainly. Maintain awareness. Maintain caution. Maintain readiness. Do not panic, but do not relax completely. Stay informed. Stay prepared. Stay ready to implement if assessment changes, if symptoms appear, if signs manifest, if situation deteriorates. Low-risk protocol is elevated awareness. Continue normal activities, continue normal life. But watch for signs. Watch for symptoms. Watch for changes. If feeling of being watched develops, reassess. If sense of doom appears, reassess. If environmental sounds occur, implement immediately. Low risk can become high risk. Safe can become dangerous. Unmarked can become marked. New image exposure, new background viewing, new risk factor. Stay aware, stay ready, stay prepared. Implement passive protections. Reduce image exposure. Stop viewing horror content. Stop browsing anomalous material. Stop looking at random photographs. Reduce social media usage. Reduce risk of background exposure. Reduce probability of accidental viewing. These protections are not paranoia, are not excessive, are not unnecessary, are reasonable precautions, are smart decisions, are survival behaviors that cost nothing, require no sacrifice, provide peace of mind, provide risk reduction, provide safety margin, prepare implementation materials, acquire mirrors, acquire supplies, acquire tools not for immediate use, for emergency use, for if assessment changes, for if risk elevates, for if situation becomes dangerous. Having materials ready means implementation can be immediate, can be fast, can be effective. Not having materials means implementation is delayed, is slow, is potentially fatal. Prepare now while safe, so you can implement later if needed. Preparation costs little, provides much, is wise regardless of current risk level if your assessment is uncertain, if you cannot decide, if risk seems medium. Choose conservative approach. Implement partial protocols. Implement reversible protocols. Implement protocols that provide protection without destroying life. Leave location but not permanently. Go to remote area but maintain connection. Implement position but not perfectly. Create safety margin. Create preparation. Create readiness, while maintaining ability to return, to normalize, to resume life if assessment proves false. Uncertain protocol is temporary evacuation. Leave for weekend. Tell people you need break, need time alone, need space. This is true. You do need these things, for different reason than they understand, but true nonetheless. Go to remote location. Implement basic protocols. Spend 48 hours in heightened readiness. If nothing happens, return. Resume life. You lost weekend, lost time, lost comfort, but maintained life, maintained relationships, maintained existence. If something does happen, you are prepared, are positioned, are ready. You saved your life. Sacrifice of weekend is acceptable cost. During uncertain evacuation, monitor yourself. Monitor symptoms, monitor environment, monitor everything. Are symptoms increasing? Is feeling intensifying? Is situation worsening? If yes, upgrade to full protocols. Extend evacuation. Implement completely. Do not return until certain, until safe, until convinced threat has passed. If symptoms decrease, if feeling fades, if situation improves, consider returning early. Consider normalizing. Consider downgrading to low-risk protocols. Let symptoms guide, let feelings inform, let instinct direct. Your body knows, your system knows, your instinct knows. Trust it. Special consideration for those listening at night, for those listening to sleep, for those in bed now. If you assess high risk while lying down, while comfortable, while relaxed, you must override comfort, must override relaxation, must override sleepiness, must act despite every instinct saying stay, saying rest, saying sleep. Comfort is death if assessment is correct. Relaxation is death if you are marked. Sleep is death if 096 approaches. Override biology. Override tiredness. Override everything. Stand up, move, implement. Your life depends on movement, on action, on survival behavior that contradicts rest behavior. This is hard, is unnatural, is necessary. Do it anyway. Special consideration for those with families, for those with dependents, for those responsible for others. High-risk assessment requires difficult choices. Do you evacuate alone? Do you evacuate with family? Do you tell them truth? Do you lie about reason? These choices have no right answer, have only terrible options. Evacuating alone protects family from danger you bring, but abandons them without explanation, without goodbye, without closure. Evacuating with family protects them from your absence, but exposes them to danger if 096 comes, to witnessing your death, to trauma, to horror. If you choose to tell family truth, they probably will not believe, will think you are insane, will resist evacuation, will prevent implementation, will cause delay that kills you. If you choose to lie, you must lie convincingly, must create believable emergency, must manufacture reason for immediate evacuation, must maintain lie throughout implementation, must never reveal truth. This is burden, is weight, is guilt, but might be necessary, might be only way to implement while protecting family, might be only way to survive while maintaining relationships. Choose carefully, choose quickly, choose what you can live with. If you survive, if you have to live with choice afterward. Special consideration for those at work, for those at school, for those in public, for those who cannot easily evacuate. High-risk assessment in public location is nightmare scenario, is worst case, is maximum difficulty. You must evacuate but cannot explain why, cannot justify suddenly leaving, cannot tell truth, must improvise emergency, must create crisis, must generate reason that allows immediate departure without questions. Medical emergency works, family emergency works, any emergency works if sold convincingly. If acted urgently, if executed immediately, do not worry about consequences, about job loss, about social judgment, about anything except survival. If you are marked, nothing else matters. Job is irrelevant if you are dead. Social standing is irrelevant if you are biological debris. Survive first, deal with consequences later. If you survive, if there is later, special consideration for those who are isolated, for those who are alone, for those who have no one to call, no one to tell, no one to notify. You have advantage in some ways. No relationships to protect, no explanations to give, no complications in implementation, but disadvantage in others. No support, no help, no backup, no one monitoring your situation, no one checking if you survive, no one looking for you if you disappear. This isolation is double-edged. Use advantages, mitigate disadvantages. Implement alone but document everything. Leave messages, leave evidence, leave trail, so someone eventually knows, eventually understands, eventually learns what happened. Even if that someone is Foundation cleanup team, even if that someone finds your body, even if that someone is only person who ever knows you. Tried. You fought, you resisted. This matters. Leave evidence, it matters. Final consideration for everyone, for all listeners, for all assessments. Remember this, you listening to this broadcast has value, has meaning, has impact. You now know more than most people, know more than you did, know what to look for, know what to do, know how to survive. This knowledge is weapon, is tool, is hope. Use it, apply it, share it if possible, if safe, if wise. Help others avoid your experience. Help others survive their encounter. Help others join 0.03%. Every person you help is victory, is resistance, is fighting back against impossible odds, is making 096 work harder, hunt more, fail occasionally. This matters. You have all information now, all knowledge, all protocols, all assessments, all choices. What happens next is yours to determine, yours to decide, yours to execute. Survival is in your hands, in your decisions, in your actions, not in luck, not in fate, not in chance, in you, your choices, your implementation, your perfection, your survival. Choose wisely, act quickly, survive successfully. Part 8 is final part, final message, final warning, will provide closing information, will provide final context, will provide ultimate truth about 096, about survival, about everything. But Part 8 is not urgent, is not immediate, is not critical. If you assess high risk, do not listen to Part 8 now. Do not wait. Do not delay. Implement first. Survive first. Listen to Part 8 later. If you survive, if you have time, if you have life remaining to hear final truths, if you assess low or uncertain risk, continue to Part 8 now. Receive final information. Receive final context. Receive final warning. Then decide, then act, then survive. Part 8 concludes everything, completes message, ends transmission. Listen carefully, understand completely, survive successfully.